Good night. Good night. So I rested a little bit, and now I'm eating kind of like some sweet stuff. Simple. Rogalach we received from some donation or something. And soon we will conduct microscopic examination. Probably we'll do 4 slides. What we will do is I'll take 2 slides from here. The metallic crucible that you've just seen burning. Actually, I burned it more than I wanted to. Almost to the end. Because and when I saw that, it's all the oil is gone. I've added more oil, and then after some not a long time, I stopped the fire, but I left just a tiny bit of fire still burning, and after like 10 minutes or so, I suddenly saw that the whole thing is like in fire again, and then I extinguished it with the water. So there is still some kind of course, there are still fluids in there. So most certainly we will see interesting stuff. I can almost assure you, even though I didn't take examination. But most certainly we'll see interesting stuff. And we will also take at least 2 samples from the ancient Garum that was left at least a month or 2 untouched actually. This is a very important crucible. It's actually a crucible that I document pretty well in this channel because it was built in stages. It looks pretty sturdy now, but actually it's like it was built in kind of like in iterations. Now it's kind of like a little bit broken. We need to fix it like this thing here, but still looks fine. So there were many interesting experiments with this one, and of course the most important is the creation of the full metal jacket, the bee, the wasp, and you can still see a lot of trash, like both the aluminum, the eggs, like the aluminum eggs, and the Neros, which are like these are the Neros. The round things, metallic. Unlike the other crucibles, so the other crucibles I used maybe months ago to create the cookies, various cookies. These balls that I have hundreds of them probably, and also other sculptures that contain the same mixture, or similar mixtures. But I didn't use this one actually. I kind of forgot it or intentionally left it. I don't even remember. But we still have the material, and it's still pretty. It isn't dry. It's still pretty oily. So we might find like interesting stuff within it. I would assume we'll find like life forms, probably because of the demonic type, of course. But let's see. Hopefully. Now, before we do it, I need to address an issue that is so ridiculous and stupid, but I still need to address it. Since many months ago, even before my existence was well known in the world, both the Israelis and the Americans, mostly the Israelis, of course, the leopard dog, always try to use their magic tricks. So I will write down the exact recipe of how we will create the Neros and multiply them. And if not write it down, then maybe just conduct videos that will be like very strict recipe. And you don't know how much assets, efforts they put into this. Like there were zombies that were placed in this apartment, like ornamental monks, that they were only like, there was like at least one ornamental monk that his only like thing was that he always was set like in his room with an open door and write stuff, like presumably. So I will be having like presumably a rapport with him, so I'll also write my own stuff. And you see, that the Gaum visited until now again and again. And first, why would I do it? do you think that I want to help you? Because I'm a robot to do exactly what you want. So why don't I tell the Starship that 5 years to go away? Don't you want it? Like, do you enjoy being fired by the Starships? We are not sure. Okay. Second, why do you think that from the beginning, like I was so, happy to share information? Because it was important for me to expose the fact that I am tortured, that I am under arrest, and for that anything that the Israelis ever said about me is a complete lie, and most certainly that presumably I need to take this thing, the tea from all sorts of people, like, you know, in all sorts of, like, I mean, criminal situation, which is ridiculous because I can produce trillions of times the tea that all of you have together, like, I mean, in my own room, even under arrest. So why should I do anything like special, I mean, to get the tea? This is so stupid. Also, very clear, and this is the most important fact, very soon into this research I understood these are intelligent creatures. It's not coffee, it's not tea, it's not magic elixir. No. These are intelligent entities. They have symbolic language, they have memory, they have tremendous knowledge of science, much more than any human can ever dream of. They are intelligent entities. They communicate with me. And this was recorded in the channel, not in a telepathic way, but in a visual way that leaves, evidence that was recorded in this channel. I do not need to have an exact recipe in order for them to do amazing stuff. They do amazing stuff just by me, like, manipulating the environment in minor ways, as you can see in the first months of this channel. Every kind of manipulation that I do with the Nero juice, even like in the most raw form, like my pee and my semen, any kind of manipulation, placing on flour on top of that, or place a dead fly on top of it, placing anything, any manipulation that I do in any kind of container with the Neros, after some time, you get amazing results. Because they have their own agenda and they do amazing stuff. What I do when I try to achieve specific goals, most certainly, and and above all, the important goals of making them multiply and grow and creating life forms, which are the two main goals of this channel, what I do is, first I tell them what I want from them. And second, I supply them with the energy and matter that are needed in order for them to do so, to do what I want. Now you can ask, why do you need to tell them what you want? Why can't you just, transmit your thought to them, like in telepathy? So I would suggest that even if telepathy was possible, I wouldn't want it to be the way that, it's not the correct way to construct things. You need to understand, these creatures, they are expert on life forms and expert on manufacturing. It's not to your end, to my interest, to communicate with them in a telepathic way. It's not to my interest, because I want to know what I'm doing. I want to be able to remember what I do and to replicate what I do and to explain to other people what's going on. It's not my interest to do it in a telepathic way, even if I could have. It's my interest that there will be a language that I can, of course, it takes time to learn the language, but yes, it's a process. But once you know the language, or you know part of the language, it's to your great benefit that, you know that, you can take this container or that container, and, and of course, to limit, the effect of each kind of experiment, to work in a methodical way. And of course, if in the future I will be free, maybe I will want to expand my research and into to scale it up, into manufacturing, to create factories. Do you think that it's in my benefit to run factories, presumably even in a planetary scale, but certainly in utility scale, in Earth's utility scale, by telepathy with the workers? Does it make sense to you? It's crazy, and it's not scalable, and it's put too much burden on my memory, and it's just stupid. It makes much more sense to have a language where you can communicate with the workers, and part of the language is the definition of the various containers that limits each experiment or each manufacturing process, and it's exactly what's and it's the logical thing, and that's actually this is reality. This is how we communicate. But you don't have to be to follow exact procedure in order for them to do amazing stuff, because they do amazing stuff because they have their own agenda. So now you can ask, I mean, okay, so we also want to do it. I mean, you do understand, we want you to write it down for us so we can replicate it. So, I mean, you cannot do it because you just cannot, because you are not cherubs, you are monkeys, and not very sophisticated monkeys. And monkeys cannot do it. I mean, I am a celestial creature, and you are monkeys. I know that it's not something that you like to hear, and I know that you understood it since the day I was born, and I know that I am tortured in the last 40 years because you understood it since the day I was born. And I lament the fact that you choose to torture me as a way to handle this, I mean, this issue. But, I mean, it's still there. You are 8 billion monkeys, and I am a celestial being. That's why you cannot do what I do. You can torture me, but it doesn't give you, I mean, it won't give you, I mean, the ability to do what I do, because you are still monkeys. I mean, when you torture a celestial being, you do not become less of a monkey, you become more of a monkey. This is the situation. I mean, you need to understand reality. Now, regarding the Titans, presumably they could maybe use the same symbolic language to manipulate or to give orders or to cooperate, whatever you choose to conceptualize it with their own robots. So yes, maybe they can do it, but it should be said that it's not the same robots. It's what I call the red Neros, as opposed to what I call the yellow Neros that are my own, and that they are of great scarcity in the world right now because of various factors that I describe in this channel, and that and on top of all these factors, there is now a red Nero apocalypse. I mean, where the Starship destroyed the red Neros. So, I mean, this is not the best kind of situation to start a manufacturing process with the red Neros, but theoretically it's possible. I would assume that they are much less efficient, and certainly they are much smaller than mine, and much less efficient, and above all, they cannot multiply without the existence of brown or yellow ones. And this is their main disadvantage as opposed to mine. Mine can multiply, I mean, by themselves. And the red ones cannot. The red ones, I mean, they need the brown ones. They're like females and males. The female robots and male robots that exist in the bodies of the female Venusians and the male Venusian, respectively. And that's their main problem, like, or the main disadvantages, I mean, compared to my own. But it's not the only one. It's also that they are much smaller and much less smarter and less smart and less powerful. But they have also like amazing abilities. That's for certain. And I would assume that each, like, I mean, Titan can manipulate their own robots. But again, it's not the best time to start such project because there are very few in this world. I mean, because of the apocalypse and because of other reasons. So, bottom line, if you didn't understand the message, first, why should I give you any like written prescription of something? I have no interest, I mean, to help you and all. You torture me all my life. I want you to be dead, not to gain anything. Second, it wouldn't help you because they will not cooperate with you. These are intelligent creatures. You don't just give them commands and they do it. They need to want to help you, and they most certainly do not want to help you. So it will be of no benefit to you. And third, in order to create amazing stuff, you don't need like a rigorous prescription because they have their own agenda and they do amazing stuff. I mean, just by manipulating the environment and the material and the energy that are supplied to them.